We look at 0 is to 0. So this point here, we want to know what does it mean? So we know that here we have the total cost, which is represented by the y coordinates, and we got a number of slice of peters, okay, which is represented by your x coordinate. So let me just, so if you can say 0 is to 0, so for every 0 slice, okay, it will cost us $0. So that's what it simply means. So this means that for every 0, it means that 0 slice cost $0. Okay, it costs $0. Okay, 0 slice cost $0. So let's look at the next one. This is 1 is to 1. So for 1 is to 1, sorry, 1 is to 2 means that for every 1 slice, it will cost $2. Okay, for every 1 slice, it will cost $2. So for every 0 slice, it will cost $0. I hope this makes sense. So this is all what they're looking for in this question, nothing much. All right, how did I get this answer? I can see from the graph as well. You see, for every 1, this is my 1, it cost 2. So it's like this here. Okay, I hope that makes sense. And let's move on to the next one. Now, another interesting question here. So now we're going to write the excuse me. So we're going to look at now the equations to represent we're going to look at equations that represent proportional relationship. Okay. So the first one says here, leave. Sometimes they write many stories just to confuse you. I don't know. Yeah. So we got leave ends about 9.50 for every 2 bracelets that she sells. But once you are given an equation, your life becomes much easier. Okay. It says the equation is y equal to 4.75x, where x represents the number of bracelets and y represents the number of cost. Okay. In dollars, and is represented in this situation. Now, they want to know what is the proportional, or rather the constant of proportionality. Okay. And what does the constant of proportionality represent? So you have to give them two answers, okay? What is the constant of proportionality and what it cost? So firstly, I will say just take the equation, and the equation here is y equal to 4.75x. That is the equation. So just forget about this 9.50 and all of that. Just go straight to the equation. And to your equation, I'll tell you which number you need to look for. Okay. So on your equation, remember we have something, remember we spoke about K before. K is your constant of proportionality. So it's written like this. K K is equal to y over x. But if I want to write it as an equation, now I want to make K a subject of the formula. So we have something like this, guys. K is equal to y over x. But if I want to make this K a subject of the formula, I will have something like this. Or rather, if I want to make y a subject of the formula, now I want to make an equation, I can say that I can do cross multiplication like this. All right. So now I know that y is equal to kx. Now, what does k represent? K represents your constant of proportionality, right? This is your k. Whenever you see a with constant of proportionality, remember they talk about k. So if I'm in this equation and I want to find k, I can just say y is equal to kx. So which is my k here in this one here? So I can see that this is k. So if this is k, it means that this number here is my k. So I can simply then say that the constant of proportionality here is, so k is equal to 4.75. Remember, k is constant of proportionality. All right. So what does that mean? It means that leave. So now I'm answering I've answered the A part of the question. Now I want to answer the second part of the question. So it means that leave, okay, ends $4.75 for each bracelet. Okay, for each bracelet she sells. Okay, so this is the meaning. So I've answered the first part of the question for K, which is constant of proportionality. K is equal to 475. And now the next part was, what does this represent? In other words, what does this 4.75 represent? It represented leave and $4.75 for each bracelet. I hope that makes sense. And let's move on to, just want to make sure that I'm still recording just in case. Yes, it's still recording. Okay. Now, we have another set of questions like these, which are also interesting. Here it says Lincoln bought 3 bottles of energy drinks for 450. Now, in this question, they wanted to write an equation. So the equation is not written for us here. So they wanted to write an equation, but they're saying something interesting here, that the total cost is your Y, and your energy drinks, which are your bottles, is X. So first, we can now find the constant of proportionality. That's very important. So find K first. So remember, my formula for K is K equal to Y over X. So which is my Y here? My Y is the cost. Remember, they told us the Y is cost. So this is my Y here. And my X is my bottles, or rather these energy drinks. So this is my X. They already told me on the statement. So that's why I'm writing that. So I can say here that Y is equal to 4. Remember, they said Y. Let me just so that you remember Y. This was your cost, and these are your drinks. Okay, so that you don't get confused. Why am I choosing these? Because they told me in the understatement. Okay, so this is 450 divided by 3. Okay, just write it clear here. Y over X. So my Y is 450 divided by X, which is my drinks, and which is 3. So you just divide. Now you ask yourself, how many, 3's in 450? So here we have 150. Okay. So yeah, 150. So you can see that the constant of proportionality is 150. Let me just show you something here. This is my K. So we know that K now is 150. Remember, we spoke about this one here. Whereby we say that if I want now to find the equation, I have to say Y equal to, this is the formula now to find the equation, K X. This is what we said, right? Y is equal to Kx. And guys, we already have our K. We already have K. We just discovered what is K. So we said that K is 150 here. So since we said that K is 150, I can write my K here as 150. You can even say 1.5. It's the same thing, guys. It's the same thing. You don't worry about it. 150 or 1.5, it's the same thing. So now you can say now that y is equal to 150x. Now, this is your equation, right? Did they ask us for a meaning? They did not ask us, but this simply means that 1.5 times the number of drinks equals to the total cost of y. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. This question is almost similar. As I've said, I'm not going to do questions which are similar because we have a lot of questions. So, but just so you remember, this could be your y and this will be your x. And then you do exactly what I did on the previous example there. So I'm not going to do that one, guys. It's the same thing. Similar to this one here, where we see these loaves, of bread. So again, we are seeing something similar here. And they even told us that water represents your y and the x, your loaves. So you'll probably have something like this, your y over x. So remember now, this would be your y, and this would be your x. Okay, and then you find your k. So basically you'll have like 7 over, let me just quickly show you something here. So you'll have like 7 over 4. And once you have that, this now is your k, and then your k is 7 over 4. Therefore, your y will be equal to 7 over 4x, and that's it, right? That should be your answer. That's the equation, because they think what equation can be used to model this. Okay, very important to identify which is y, which is x first. Let's look at this one here, Mrs. Anderson. It's the same thing again. Here, perhaps here maybe what we can do, because it's just a matter of algebra. I think there's something different here which I think we need to take note of. I think even in this one here, there's something interesting here. Maybe let me go back to this question. After we have written this, they are asking us, how many cups of water do you need for 6 loaves? Very important part of the question. Now I have my equation, right? I've written my equation. So what I'm going to do here, I will then going to look at this number here, this 6 loaves. How am I going to use it? So I will now going to say my equation, which is y equal to 7 over 4x. Remember that loaves represents x. So again, I'm seeing loaves here. So meaning that these loaves, they are my other x. So it's going to be y equal to 7 over 4. I can just write here that x there is equal to 6, because those are loaves, 6 loaves. Okay, because it represents x represents your loaves. So that's very important. So that's why now I'm going to multiply everything by 6. All right.